Check, check. Hey, refresh. Tell everybody to refresh. What's one more stream notification on a day like today, huh? My router is attached to the wall by a sticky, like very, very sticky thing with Velcro. It's so humid and hot here. It fell, like, it broke down, it fell. And when it fell, it unplugged itself. It unplugged itself. My router unplugged itself. Just so you know. It wasn't me. My router hated this whole idea so badly, it threw itself to the ground. All right, I'm learning one of the pitfalls of building commander decks on stream. It's still Twitch chat. You guys are recommending cards that aren't in my color identity. I can't play old Gnawbone. Undoable. Astral Dragon does seem cool. There's usually some awesome things you can do with that. I like Archpriest of Shadows. I'm trying to finish our big monsters first. Archpriest of Shadows is both fine to copy and also like on theme, so that'll be later. Can Nezahal dodge the end phase? Well, no, because it's a token, right? Create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy. You just exile itself and discard 3 cards. Seems bad. Rexiel the Risen Deep. Oh, that card is so cringe. Rexiel. Let's have a look. 99 cents, budget gaming. Whenever it deals damage to a player, you may cast an instant sorcery from the graveyard. I mean, come on. All that to cast 1 instant or sorcery from their graveyard? I need more power. I need considerably more power than that. If it were casting from everyone's graveyard, you know, Mega Pog. Mega Pog. The Meosion of Cryptolith Dreams, like that doesn't enter the battlefield with like those, with a counter on it, right? Agent of Treachery. It's been a while. It's been a long time. Nezahal and Consecrated Sphinx won't stay on the battlefield, so those are not good choices. But Agent of Treachery. Agent of Treachery, you say? Ice cold. All right, I have 10 cards I'm really excited to bring back and cause absolute mayhem with. That's where we want to be. That's where we like it. So, we want other enablers. We want cards we can play early and often. We want a good amount of instants or sorceries, so we're amassing nicely with our Mouth of Sauron. Amassing with our mouth, that sounds like something that sounds like a sentence I just have to use on the show, right? It sounds so naughty. And then we want the solid blue and black things. Let's enable our tags, shall we? So, tags on Moxfield. I'll do global tag theme. And this helps us like kind of categorize our stuff. So why are these in the deck? What purpose do they have? They do our theme. You'll notice I also have a global tag called Explosives. It's for cards that are so absurdly powerful that they take over the game. This deck is kind of fun because we get to play a lot of those. We need a custom tag for this one. We'll call it Partner, even though it's not the partner. All right, we're gonna remove the explosive tags here because we're going to have so many it doesn't mean much. It's basically part of that theme. And then we're going to give them some local tags. Ha, it's under the tutors category. So these are, let's go deck specific reanimation. What's a good word for reanimation targets? Baddies? Baddies. Because we could say reanimation target, but that's lame, right? Base. They're big baddies. That's how it works. And there should be 10 of them for deck balance and presentability. Why are you like this? So I switched my mouse. The sensitivity's off. I feel like Bambi on ice. Ten of them. All right, cool. All right. Now, we don't want the only reanimator in our deck to be our commander. As reliable and helpful as that is, we need others. So let's get like 10 reanimations in there. Some of these will be obvious. What is Archpriest of Shadows, though? I want to get that one before I forget. Archpriest of Shadows. Reanimate. Animate Dead. Dance of the Dead. Necromancy. Gotta play All Hallows Eve. I wish, man. I wish. I've got a global recursion tag that I use because I use these kind of things a lot. Are there any other creatures that when you reanimate them, you get another creature? Breach the freaking multiverse. Good call. We need some big reanimation to go with some small reanimation. Rise of the Dark Realms. Let's go. Oh, this is gonna be a bad deck. We are villain. 7 of them. 7 of them. Invasion of Amonkhet. I like it. I actually like it. There's a 6-mana one that you pay life and get all the things for. I'm confused. Phyrexian Portal, a bit too much. Oh, Command the Dread Horde. Yeah. So I have a philosophy about paying life in Commander. I don't. I avoid life loss in Commander much more than most people. And that's because I end up dead a lot. If you're gonna arch enemy, you can't pay life for everything. So that's one of my Commander hot takes. Like, that's probably one thing a lot of you are going to disagree with me on. I run a lot more life gain cards in my Commander decks than normal because I'm arch enemy a good amount of the time, and I pay life a lot less than others. I'll take a Whip of Erebos though. Altar a ball. You know what? I'm trying to remember what that does. Altar of... What are you? Exile a creature you control. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is kind of cool because you can exile the token that Sauron makes. You can also exile the amassed thing that the mouth makes. It's cheap. Maybe I'll make a skeleton. I like this. This is a pretty good suggestion. I don't say that often. Don't let it go to your frickin' head. But see, this, like, building Commander decks on stream I've never done before. I'm used to just terrible ideas. You guys are doing all right. You guys are doing okay. You know, I had all these Commander players in my chat. So we have got our 10 recursion. Good. Good. Our theme, get back awesome stuff. Now we need to get the awesome stuff into our graveyard. Yeah, I'll do a little frantic searching. I love free spells in Commander. I can definitely do a little frantic searching. Tainted Indulgence is one I've been wanting to run that I can play. We can go with Buried Alive. The problem with Buried Alive is you have to be careful. People might see it coming, but it is great if you don't play it too early. Entomb, similar effect, right? Both of these, let's search our library and put stuff in the graveyard. It's a little risky. So you got to do it at the right time. Gifts Ungiven. You mean the card on the banned list? Right? Factor of Fiction is interesting, but I think people will use it against me. I don't like revealing too much of the plan. You know what I mean? So what are some other just good ways to draw a discard without, you know, being all obvious about it? I think Ledger Shredder is very good. Are there any other good looters? Like Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, or a throwback, if you like. This is a fun looter. Don't play Liliana the Veil. People hate that. Like, and when I say that, it's not because I care about their feelings. I don't want them to try to kill me. I need to be doing nothing too scary until I'm doing things that are way too scary. That is a good general Commander philosophy, just so you know. Don't do anything too scary until you're ready to be scary. Like, some of these cards would be good setup cards in 1v1. They're bad. They are bad setup cards in Commander because people see it coming for a whole turn cycle. Atrice is a good example. They are bad setup cards in Commander. Why do I have you under card draw? We should have a local tag. It should be looting. Dumpers. How to get stuff in your graveyard. We now have a dumpers tag. Because looting isn't the whole story, right? This will be my first buried alive deck on the show and my first entombed deck on the show. Thought Scour, we don't have any control over what goes in. Come on, there's some good looting effects. You guys would say faithless looting if we were, you know. What about, do I have a careful study? I don't think I own not a careful study. Windfall? Yeah, but we don't want to dump whole hand. We want to dump important card, not everything. Lena, thank you very much for the tier 1. Appreciate you. The official Magic the Gathering Arena YouTube channel spelt Covert Go Blue wrong on the video title. Is that so? Well, let's investigate, shall we? Displacer King can also flicker the... I mean, they spelt it right. They just weren't sure where to put the space, which is reasonable. It's very, very reasonable, actually. Of all the things that I can make fun of wizards for, this does not hit the... This does not hit. So I like the pull from tomorrow suggestion. Because you get like a bunch of cards that you get to keep and the one discard of the card you wanted to discard. I think that's great. But I don't like the idea of Surveil because you don't know what's on top of your deck. I don't like the idea of Mill because you don't know what's on top of your deck. Keep in mind, only 10 cards in the whole deck. 1 out of 10. So like, are the cards that we actually want in the graveyard. So if your idea is I'm going to Thought Scour myself and hit one, your odds are actually really low. Kaito? Kaito's okay, but there's got to be something better, right? There's got to be other ways to draw a discard. And honestly, getting tempted by the ring is one of them, but not really what I want to do with this deck. Okay, I don't want to run the Nazguls. What can I run for this deck? I can run Call of the Ring, right? That can be a dumper as long as we find it with a creature. What is another Tempted by the Ring card that doesn't suck in this deck? Can you give me a few more? Blake, get out. I'm working here. Ring sight. Yeah, ring sight. Good one. Just have to have any creature in this works. Okay. What else? I like Thirst for Discovery. That might be an okay one. It's not perfect, but it's okay. What's the other... It's like 2 piles opponent. Sauron's Ransom, right? There we go. It's more there for the ring tempts you, and if you happen to get something to reanimate, you feel good. I spent the whole day locked in a grain station because of a storm. I hope your day is better. Did you bring your phone? You could bring me with you. I could be with you in the storm cellar. I know that probably doesn't work. How's our dumpers count? 11. We're doing good. We're good on the dumpers. We can move on. Are there any other cards that are just like ring temps you good? Let's go to the Great Scryfall. You guys are actually bangers to build commander decks with, to be honest. I appreciate you guys right now. This is pretty fun. I'm trying to think if any of these like tempty things are good. Like just good on their own. You just want a little tempting. I don't think so. And it's not like I have a bunch of cheap creatures. So I still have that to figure out. I don't think any of these are really worth that spot. I guess I am an Entomb deck. Do we want Golem? The Patient Plotter? Because we could bury it alive or entomb it, and then we just have Temptation in the graveyard if we sack those, we sack like those amass things. That seems fine. We haven't played Golem on the show yet. That seems pretty good. I mean, if we're gonna run cards like Buried Alive and Entomb, we may as well have something thematic to fetch. We do need the One Ring, but I'm not giving Blake the credit. Of course I was adding the One Ring. Come on, dude. Come on, gamers. Switch printing to the one I actually have. There we go. Deck now priceless confirmed. Blake, get back to work. I will not have you being late to recording because you were watching my stream. I'm literally like consuming my own productivity with you watching this show. Get out. I'm just kidding. All right, Bowmasters, because they're Bowmasters. $30 for this? The world's gone mad. What's a good word for like a cheap creature? I'm just gonna call them dorks. Guys, make sure Blake is actually gone. Is he gone? Okay, I mean, it actually doesn't matter if he's gone, because even if he's here, I've told him this 100 times. He won't listen to me. The most underrated card type in Magic the Gathering, in casual commander, I can't stress, casual commander, for fun commander, commander with your friends, commander at the LGS, commander at the, the Magic Con. The most underrated thing is just dopey little creatures that sit on the battlefield looking to do some chump blocking. Because nobody goes near them. If you play a creature on turn 2 instead of a mana rock, that creature sometimes gains you like 20 life in the game. Just because you have something sitting there being like, you don't want to attack me, I'll just block it. I don't care about this thing. And they're like, well, I'm going to attack the person who ramped instead. So I already told you life gain, how important I find life gain. Just having stupid little dorks on the battlefield is like really good. Like really, really good. So like dude, in casual commander, where'd it go? Where's my dork? This little dork of mine, Baleful Strix. This is by a mile the MVP. It is the greatest casual commander card in blue-black that exists. Now, you don't want to play just 1 mana, 1/1 Death Touch. That card, it gains you a bunch of life, but doesn't do anything else, right? You want to play cards that get you value, draw a card, do something while they're on the battlefield, right? So like Ledger Shredder is a good dork, you know, it grows. Like that's what you want. You want your 1 and 2 mana cards to actually do something when they're hanging out, or eventually get you something. But you do need these cards. Solemn is a great dork. Yeah, that's why Solemn is like in everything, right? It's an absolutely A+ little piece of value dork. Great, it's ramp, it's a dork, it's all these things. But what's really important is that the cards can block. The card's gotta be able to like, if the opponent's looking over there, like, should I attack them? They have to look at this card and be like, nah. And what's weird in Commander is anything does this, because like, as long as it did something on the way in. So let me give you one of my favorite dorks. Fibblethip. Fibblethip is one of my absolute favorite dorks. Let's get the tag on you. Like, he's not trading with anything in combat. He's not gonna kill anything like Strix will. Right? He just draws a card when he enters and he sits there. But the reason he's such a good dork is people are like, well, if I attack you, you'll just chump block with Fibblethip. And I'll be like, yes, I will. And then I'll reanimate it and draw a card with Sorin. Huh? So they look around and they're like, well, you have something you want to block with. That person over there, they don't want to block with their commander. I'm attacking them instead. When you multiply this by multiple players over multiple turns, your Fibblethip cost you 2 mana and you drew a card to replace it, and it gains you like 10 to 15 life. It makes you so hard to kill. There are people who leave comments on all my commander videos. Why don't they just kill him? It's because I always have blockers. Nobody wants their attack to do nothing. So anyway, that's my little value rant. You know what else is a good dork? It's the new spell that amasses. What is it called? And it's an instant, or it's a sorcery. So it's actually even better because it works with the Mouth of Sauron's ability as a sorcery. Mordor Muster. Yeah, this card is legit. We're gonna run some Mordor Muster. Makes a dork. Just makes a little dork. You don't need a lot more out of it. Draws a card, makes a dork. So you don't have to run like 12 mana rocks that just have people attack you. You just make a little dork. Malevolent Hermit's an interesting one because it's an onboard effect. I don't even hate that, but I'm also not like, it doesn't feel as good as cards that draw cards, right? I think Sauron's Trickery is a good 1v1 card and a bad commander card, to be honest. There's other dorks I play. Like, here's one I ran for a really long time in Dimir, and it might be time to bring it back for this deck. This is a pretty good dork. It's no Baleful Strix, but it's trying. The problem is the rate's pretty bad. So this is Fathom Feeder. This is a 1/1 with Death Touch and Ingest. And when I can draw a card for 5 mana and make each opponent exile the top card of their library. So if I find an infinite mana outlet, it can win the game. It's an okay card. It's not a busted card. It's a good dork. But it makes people really mad when it hits them if it's your ring bearer, because for some reason exiling the top card of their library just tilts them into oblivion. Might be time to bring it back. I'll leave it in this deck for now. But yeah, I like to have about 8 cards, about 8 dorks. Just something you get on the battlefield that says, you know, don't come over here. This land is protected. Has Stitcher's Supplier been suggested? Oh, yeah, it doesn't draw a card. Like, I want to play these board presence things, but I don't want to do them at the cost of getting any value. That's why Fathom Feeder is kind of sus. Glenalendra is better anyway. Glenalendra is okay, but it's another on the board thing. Dothy Voidwalker. That's opponents hits their graveyards, right? Pretty obnoxious spell. Yeah, it's good though. It's definitely a high quality dork. Like it's almost Dothy Voidwalker isn't a great dork because you don't want to block with it. And people will gladly trade with it. So I don't even think it counts as a, yeah, I have it as stacks. It doesn't count as a dork. It's just a good card. And I usually end up cutting good stats cards anyway. Yeah, it has Shadow. Yeah. Will you be on game night sometime? Huh? It's not up to me. I would go if they asked me, but I also, like, they do a good job with bringing in all kinds of guests from outside the world of Magic. So if I do extra turns, I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Just show up. Yeah, sure, guys. I mean, Tomebound Lich is okay. Tomebound Lich would actually be decent in this deck, I think. Do I own one? There's a lot of reasons Tomebound Lich would be pretty good. Like a lot of reasons. But do I own one? It's only this one set, huh? I do not own one. So it can't be Tomebound Lich. Be honest with me, guys. I'm gonna point this fan at me. Does it mess with the microphone in any way? Do you hear anything weird? Because in the past, when I run fans in my room, it causes like a weird feedback on the mic. So does anything sound weird now? Crank it up. Crank it all the way up. Okay. Yeah, it's a smaller fan. It's usually the larger fans that cause trouble. I feel like I'm missing a dork, though. I'm missing some kind of a dork. But we'll come back. We'll come back. All right, let's move off of dorks. Card draw. Card draw effects for this pile. My favorite category. We're already doing good. Like, we've got like 6 card draw effects. I like to get to 12. We already have the ring. Fact or fiction is nice. I wish I had something a little burstier. Our commanders are 5, so Stinging Study is Pog. If you don't run this enough, you should. Hello? Stringing Study. I can spell things. I got a new keyboard too, and I'm getting used to it. So Stinging Study is... Anybody out there know this card already? You draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the mana value of a commander. It can be on the battlefield or in the command zone. So 5 mana, instant speed, draw 5. Like I said, I don't like paying my life much, but when I do, I make sure it's for good things. Very good things. Honestly, Muldrifter does make the cut here because, yeah, you just, like, if you have nothing else to reanimate, this is an easy one, and it doesn't seem too threatening. It also goes under dorks, you know? It's just on the battlefield. So it's a good Muldrifter deck. Guys, I used to love playing Black Market Connections. Now I try to only play it in thematic decks because it gets me killed. Everybody sees that card and is like, oh, you're gonna die. You are gonna die. They go right for me. It's not good. It was a good card for a while. Ooh, Evangel, that's a great call out. I knew there was a Dimir card I was forgetting. I knew it. That is the card for sure. This is a proper dork and a dumper. Yes. 2 mana, 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. Yes. Good stuff. How much of mass do we have? We do have a mass in the command zone. Maybe Soul Diviner is good. We get Dork and we get Draw. So Soul Diviner, remove a counter from an artifact, creature, or land or planeswalker you control to draw a card. It's good with a mass. And we do have a mass in our command zone. We need more instants and sorceries, I feel like, though. We got 24 creatures, which is probably too many, to be honest. 6 sorceries, 7 instants. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. And we haven't gotten to removal yet, and we just got to card draw, which is where those categories tend to build up. But none of you have mentioned Rhystic Study yet, which leaves me to believe you guys might be confused about what format we're playing. I can't believe I haven't tagged that already. Wait, where'd it go? Maybe it's under Hellscape. Oh no, there it is in card draw. Of course, Titan Lord mentioned Rhystic Study earlier. Degenerate. I don't want Mystic Remora. I don't want to tie up my mana. Mystic Remora is good in certain kind of decks that don't want to do anything. I want to be doing proactive things. It's also good, of course, in EDH. Thoughts about Lorien Revealed? I have no idea what that is. All right. Is there another way to just draw some cheap cards? Like we can go with Night's Whisper if we want to pay life. I'd rather not. Like what's a good cheap? Just draw me. Just get some cards in my hand, man. Just gas me up. These I should know off the top of my head. So Fact or Fiction is a fun one. I don't own a Chart Course. Deadly Dispute. Do I have enough things I want to sacrifice? I don't think. Maybe it is Treasure Cruise. We do fill our graveyard. A little bit of graveyard filling and we Treasure Cruise. We just don't want to delve away our good stuff. So it's a little risky. I also don't want too much delve. Teferi, Master of Time, love it. That's a dumper. You got me a twofer. You got me a dumper. Card does attract a lot of attention. Not really. It's looting. I guess I'm counting looting as card draw. All right, card draw is on 12. We're good. We're good. We are okay. We're not a Spellslinger deck, so I don't want cantrips. I don't actually think cards like Brainstorm go in every commander deck. The opportunity cost of a card is really high, and part of what makes those cards good is in formats like, 1v1 formats, the cost of a card is pretty low when you're trying to find the best cards ever printed, whereas here we're just finding another card and another card. All right. Ramp and removal is where we're at, guys. We got our card draw. Remove stuff. Things must die. They cannot kill us. If they kill us, it's a disaster. So, how do we keep them from killing us? Deadly Relic. Very expensive. In fact, I don't even know if I can run it, but we'll see. Because I have another blue-black deck that I have together right now, so some of these things might get cut when I compare to my other blue-black deck. I'm not looking to sacrifice anything when I play these cards. It kind of ruins the purpose. Drown in the Loch. Fongify. Rapid hybridization. What else? I do not count counter spells as removal. Counter spells can be counted as removal or a blanket thing called interaction when you're 1v1. In Commander, counter spells are not removal. It's kind of a disaster if you have to counter somebody's thing. It's a very, very bad way to look at your counter spells. Counter spells in Commander are protection. They protect you from the baddest, nastiest things your opponents might do. I run them in a separate category from removal. Ooh, Urtai is actually a great suggestion here. In fact, the more creatures we can get, the better. But Urtai is a great one because we can reanimate them with Sauron, right? So we want Ravenous, Chupa, Cabra, and we want Shriek, Maw, and we want... I have a Fleshbag Marauder, right? Is there like an improvement on Fleshbag Marauder somewhere? Probably not. Hostage Taker is interesting. We can run that. So we want the creature ones that we can reanimate to get effect. Gear Hulk? Gear Hulk's really expensive. Plague Crafter. Okay. $10. We're good. Black Sun's Twilight's too expensive. Seems creature heavy for Commander. Yes, that's why it's good. Good Commander is creature heavy. If your decks aren't very creature heavy, I think you're doing something wrong unless you're strictly a Spellslinger deck. I mean, even my control decks get more creatures nowadays. Obviously, combo decks or CEDH I'm not referring to. All right, sweepers. 3 sweepsies. Only 3. Meat Hook Massacre. Cyclonic Rift. If they can only hit one side of the battlefield, they're infinitely better. Meat Hook Massacre, Cyclonic Rift, and not Toxic Deluge. I've tried to express my desire to avoid paying life. Toxic Deluge is one of those that you just fall into too easily. You play it too often automatically. You can't always afford the life. Damnation's interesting. Massacre Worm is very interesting because it's on a body. You can reanimate it. Let's do that. I'd love Massacre Girl, but she's just gonna slice up herself. Massacre Worm can kill people. This is not a Toxrill deck. Doesn't work with our Reanimator in the command zone. I know she doesn't kill herself, but assuming we got her back with Sauron, she exiles herself on end step. So I'm thinking I'm thinking about the commander interaction more than anything else. Because remember, we are a sneaky partner deck. We have a Rule 0 partner in Sauron, which is the Necromancer, which is our reanimation machine. All right, we have neglected 2 important categories. The next one is protection. Swiftfoot Boots, Lightning Greaves, We want like 8 pieces of what I call protection. And my favorites are 1 mana counters like Swan Song and Offer You Can't Refuse. And Fierce 0 mana counter spells like Fierce Guardianship. And I do love me an Arcane Denial. So we're at 7, we could use 1 more. There's that new Mithril Coat, but I don't love that. It doesn't even protect us from our own meat hook. There's Malika Rebirth. But yeah, protection has to be cheap. Like at most 3 mana for the best protection, like Teferi's protection. What does WPCS stand for? Worst possible commander show. Hey, how you doing, Bon? Silumgar's command. It's 5 mana. You're just here to mess with me. Oh yeah, I remember now. One of my absolute favorites. I put this in a lot of decks. So consider playing Slip Out the Back in everything, guys. Just consider it. In this deck, you can slip your Reanimated Wraith out the back and keep it. But beyond that, the best thing about phasing, basically everywhere that you can get phasing, you should, especially cheap phasing, let the opponent's board wipe do all the work for you, and you keep your stuff. That is why Teferi's protection is so good, but I don't think nearly enough people play like Slip Out the Back, for example. Let the opponent's board wipes be your board wipes by protecting your things and losing no tempo. Yeah, March is pretty good. I love March in a monocolored deck because I can't always like use it in a 2-color deck. I don't always have the blue spell, but let's have a quick look at how many blue cards are in our deck. Is our split even or does it lean blue? It's more black, so nah. Nah. All right, we got 8. 8 is pretty good for protection. Bon is a streamer on the weekends, plays a lot of Historic and Explorer these days. Plenty of Historic, I think, because of Lord of the Rings. And she's cool. So do check her out. All right, ramp. Guys, we haven't ramped at all, other than Solemn. Some of this stuff is pretty simple. Soul Ring, I know. Big brain play. Arcane Signet, I know. Talisman of Dominance and Dimir Signet, right? Here we go. Is this a Relic of Legends deck? We need to attack with Sauron to get the effect. The Mouth of Sauron we could tap for mana. It doesn't seem great. Mind Stone. See, here's the thing. I don't know if I need more 2-mana ramp because we have dorks. You don't have to ramp as hard as people usually do in Commander. If you can just kick back, play some dorks, let the opponents who are ramping like go after each other and get scared of each other. Like right now we have 20 permanents that are mana value 2. 20! I also hate rituals. I don't play rituals. I do not believe in them in casual Commander. In CEDH, yes. In casual Commander, I think you're just putting multiple cards into the one thing that's going to get killed by all your opponents. It's good if you're a combo player too, but no. Like, watch out. Like, a lot of people get into Commander and they're like, I gotta go fast because they watch some playing with power, or they just think that's, you know, they bring some 1v1 experience and it's like you're just gonna get yourself killed. You did good job. You put 3 or 4 cards into doing something early. Everybody saw you do it. And they're gonna kill you. They're gonna ruin you. So I put Crown Jewel in everything, especially if I'm going to be hitting my opponent. If I have evasion. Or not Crown Jewel, Coveted Jewel. And I think that's what you mean, right? I love Coveted Jewel. Absolutely love it. Oh, Court of what? Court of Cunning? It's like one of the only mill cards I would play. It's an enchantment. It mills every turn and it creates the monarch, so it draws a card. I would play it. Where'd it go? Is it in my card draw? The only problem with tags is sometimes you don't know where stuff went. Yeah, there it is. It's under mill. We would put it on dumpers. And a little bit of card draw, especially since we punch. Yeah, it's very cheap. I love Thief of Sanity. It gets you killed. Thief of Sanity does bad things to you. People hate it so much. If I hated my opponents and didn't care about them, I would run it. So it's not a bad idea. Ramp. Burnished Heart is an underrated card. I think a lot of people come to Commander and they look at Burnished Heart and they think that card is terrible. And they're not completely wrong. But the reason it's a good card is it flies under the radar, it gets you lands, and lands don't get blown up by Vandal Blast. So this card is actually sneaky good, and it's a pretty important card in casual Commander, I think. I also love Midnight Clock and Wayfarer's Bauble. Wayfarer's Bauble is one of my absolute go-tos. Midnight Clock is another. What's WPCS? It's the worst possible Commander show. It's the Commander show I make every week. If you didn't know about it, well, if you didn't know, now you know. No. I'm going to say that every time from now on. It makes me feel cool. Midnight Clock can backfire horribly in the deck. It can. Or it can, I mean, or you could draw 7 other awesome cards. So that's fine. I mean, even if I shuffle away, like there is the fail case, I get it, where you shuffle away the big monster you were going to reanimate and you draw 7 lands. How does the partner work in this deck? We rule zeroed it. We ahead of time decided our theme would be partners that don't have partner, because we wanted, specifically the idea was to play Gimli and Legolas counter of kills as partners, because that just, we thought that made sense and sounded cool. I actually think this deck might want Gilded Lotus. It has huge mana requirements. I always try to like have a couple 2 mana ramp spells, a 3 mana ramp spell, a 4 mana ramp spell, usually Solemn, a 5 and a 6. Just a little staircase. Little ramp staircase. Dreamscape Artist? I have no idea what that is. Where are you at? The creature? Time Spiral Remastered? 3 mana? Is this good? Is this good? It seems good on turn 2. I mean, I've never played this card. Let's try it. A dork and a ramp. I mean, even though it doesn't look like a good dork, like if you have this up on turn 3 and you're just like, I just want to ramp, and the opponent's like, well, who do I attack with my 4/4? They might not attack you. You just block with it. The discard is kind of cringe. It's so bad when you draw it later, but we have a lot of dumpers, so maybe we just dump it if we draw it later. Maybe it's fine. Besides, we have enough ramp now. 10 ramps. We're good. We're good. We are going to have to cut some cards too. We're getting to that point of the show. All right. Everything's here. We do need the manas. Are you guys ready to do mana base building? Watery Grave. Oh, I'd love to run Underground Sea. I just don't anymore. YouTube comments hate me already on the show. They hate me even more when I play pricey cards. So I just, like, Underground Sea literally doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So I just leave it at home. Doesn't change the way the games play, like, at all. It just triggers some people because they don't know what it's like to have an $800 card. If they ever do get their $800 card someday, they'll realize it doesn't change anything. I'm not mad at them. I probably felt the same way once. Same philosophy with fetches. I only run the fetch that is on brand. So in this case, we're only running Polluted Delta. People just, you know, they tilt. What are the new lands? There's Rivendell. And there is Barad-dûr. And there is Black Gate. Isn't there? Blake Gate. Freudian slip there. Marsh. By the way, thank you, people hanging out to watch me build commander decks. I had no idea how today's stream would go, but you guys are making it really cool. This would be a really good Volrath Stronghold deck. Are they going to hate me for playing an $80 land? Yes, they are. They absolutely are. Wow, we got 37 lands really fast, didn't we? And they really, really, really produce our colors. I mean, we don't even need it, right? We got the basics. We could cut it down to 7 and 7 and have a more interesting mana base. Or we could stick to a pretty basic mana base. Basic mana base. This deck slaps, I'm gonna steal it. Well, that is the idea. We're not done yet. We can definitely run more interesting lands. Let's run Volrath's Stronghold, because that card is cool. What else? Demir Aqueduct. This is definitely an Aqueduct deck. Demolition Field. Thriving Isle. Darkwater Cat. The Sanitarium? It's a dumper, kind of, right? Sanitarium. Choked Est. Okay. One more. Give me my 37th land. Could be a DFC. I just really don't enjoy flipping my cards around. The more options in my deck, the more my brain hurt. But it is hard to pass up on the land that brings things back from the graveyard. What is it? MDFC, Agadeem's, yep, Agadeem's Awakening. There we go. 120 cards, guys. We got a 20 card cut on this one. A 20 card cut. So this is where the tags really come in handy, because you can go back over your tags and you can find where you're heavy, right? So we can cut one ramp card. The Lotus. I've got a lot of like 8 mana, 9 mana plays. It has the same CMC as the commander, but you don't usually want to slam your commander on curve. Playing a commander without protection in this economy is dangerous. The Artist is only good on curve. Like if you reanimate this with Sauron, it's not good. So it's not... I see the appeal. I also cringe at it a lot. Yeah, I cringe. Yep, Artist gotta go. It's just, you're looking at a clunky situational perfect storm kind of card. Nope. All right, recursion. We have 13 now. We don't need 13, but we're also counting these lands. But we can cut 2 or 3 of these. I want the Shadows. I want the Breach. I want the Rise. This isn't real recursion, these two, so we shouldn't count them. So maybe we cut 1. I'm actually going to change the tag. Oh, this is Commander. If Commander, why not Sphinx? Because Sphinx gets you killed. People look at your Sphinx and say, that guy has to die. I'm gonna cut the one with the upkeep cost. Removal's good. Stacks are gonna go. I always end up cutting the stacks, man. Theme can actually, I think, trim. I think if we have 8, we're okay, because we have a bunch of other creatures to reanimate. I'm gonna take out the Fallen. Am I? I'm gonna cut the Djinn. I'm gonna cut the Villas. We're gonna go with 8. These 8 are mean enough. And they are very cool. Why is this under tutors? Lol. Dumpers, we are heavy on the dumpers, guys. We can cut a good number of dumpers. We have too many. I like the creatures and the things that stay on board way more than the spells when possible. I love me some board presence. You know what also gets you killed? Mill. But it does choose any number. That is political in nature. I don't feel like I need this card. Leave that alone for a minute. Is Jace too cute? He is. He's a cutie. Let's cut the Soul Diviner. We don't have that much amass. Cut the Fathom Feeder. Card draw is a little heavy. It's a little heavy. Let's cut the Cruise. You can definitely see the downside. Yeah, let's cut the Jace. Sorry, buddy. Teferi gets you killed. Teferi gets Teferi killed. Just kind of, I'm into that. Most of the time, they spend so much time killing Teferi, they don't even think about me too much. They're just like annoyed by that they have to be killing this Planeswalker. All right, 8 cards. Where do we have to lighten up? I think we have to lighten up on reanimation because we have reanimation in the command zone. So let's lighten up reanimation a little bit more. Let's hit the necromancy. Let's hit the invasion. We do not have removal in the command zone. Removal's good. I guess we could go to 9. Because we're getting to recur it from the command zone. I guess that can count as one of our removals. 5 cards. I don't want to cut more cards. I understand. I definitely understand. Love this package. Don't want to touch it. We'll cut the Rollick because it's a 5-mana commander set. Ramp could go down to 8. I do still think the Lotus is important, but I will give it the chop chop. Stays, 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 stays. That means it's you or you. Jewel or clock? Whip is amazing. People who cut whips are losers. They just don't know it. Jewel or clock? Clock. Too many dumpers? I don't think so. Too many dorks? Love my dorks. Card draw is pretty good. Two cards, guys. Two cards. Wait, 39 lands? Who added too many lands? Hold on. Is that can't be true. Who added too many lands to this deck? Call yourself out in chat. Which of you did it? Fess up. Fortunately, you made the cuts easy. So there's that. I say easy, now I'm like, So I don't like the Darkwater Catacombs. I'm a hater. I also don't like the estuary most of the time. I don't always like Darkslick Shores either. I say easy, but then, ooh. Orchard? Well, let me think about the decks in the pool. There's blue. Is there another black deck? What's Shay playing? Shay is not playing black. Blake is not playing black. There's no other black deck. Orchard is out. Easy cut. Now I have too many lands, actually. We actually get bonus card. Does Urborg synergize with anything? With your face? Yeah, you heard me. Why did I put right? Oh, because it's supposed to be the Torment land, but whatever. All right, bonus card. Bonus card into the deck. We had cut a card, now we add a card back. Bonus MTG card. I mean, we could just put the midnight clock back in. Champion of Wits, huh? It's a good dork for the deck. Kinda. You end up discarding a lot of cards you don't really want to discard. Add Time Walk. Yeah, okay, bro. I'd love to add Sepulchral Primordial. It's apparently in a box in my closet. I don't want to find it. So no. Style negotiations. No control. No control. Dangerous card. All right. Responsible gamer. I am putting in Gilded Lotus. Nah, Midnight Clock. Midnight Clock. There we go. Though, actually, I usually don't run the 3-mana rocks. I run ways to get lands, like Nettle Cyst. Not Nettle Cyst. Nissa's Bitterhorn. Bitterhorn is the name of the card. That's what I run. Because lands can't be vandal blasted. If you search for Nissa in a deck without green, it comes right up. Bitter Thorn. Nissa's Animus. Love this card. It's sort of the Animus that comes already equipped to something. Do you goldfish your decks? You wanna do it? You wanna do it? You wanna goldfish this deck? You wanna do it? First of all, look at this curve. 14 permanents with a mana value of 2. Most hands will have a little something something to play on turn 1. Good value. Look at that. Beautiful. A little leaning to the black side. That's okay. The bow, thank you. This first hand is garbage. Deal another. This hand is a keep. We have a talisman. We have 2 lands. We have an Evangel ninjutsu, because this would gain menace. Could be really poggers. This hand is a CGB keep. We just play lands for 10 turns, do nothing else, and cast Pull from tomorrow. No, I wouldn't keep this. I'm just kidding. Turn 2 Golem. Not sure what else. Would have worked out great. Bitter. Wouldn't get there. Weird hand for sure. Would have got there fine. Weird hand for sure. Would have been a turn 4 reanimated agent. What is with this shuffler? It's busted, I swear. It's trying to get me to delete my deck. What's with all these one-landers? All right. Going to survey the chat. When you play Commander, do you require people to mulligan? If they have to mulligan more than 2 times, you require them to go down in cards? Or do you just say get a 7? I swear to God, in casual, I've only met people who are like, get a 7. That's all I've ever witnessed in the wild is get a 7. Nobody likes it when people have to mulligan. Yeah. The only, the rule we have, and I got this from the Command Zone, they mentioned it on podcast. The rule that we have is get a 7, but if you draw Soul Ring, if you just rip your Soul Ring in your first 7, that's fine. But if you draw Soul Ring in your second, third, or fourth 7 or whatever, after like the friendly mulligans, you put it on the bottom and draw a new card. Just because you'll get somebody who's gonna mulligan till they hit Soul Ring, and that's, let's just take that out of the range. Because you never want to sit down and then even suspect you're playing against somebody who's mulling until they get Soul Ring. Why doesn't Standard allow a free mulligan? Best of 1 should, in my opinion, but in best of 3, pretty abusable. Pretty abusable. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife is a gorgeous and brilliant and beautiful person. She has fixed the water pressure issue of our house. It pains me to admit this in front of all of you, but for the last 4 days, the water pressure in my house has been just a trickle of its former glory. On this day, I tasked my beautiful wife with, while daddy goes and streams, please, see what you can do about the water pressure. And she has solved it. She has fixed it. She is basically a plumber's apprentice. And a rocket scientist. What was the fix? You ready for this? She turned it off And she turned it back on. Boom! The water pump, I know. Plumbing IT. Yep. The good old, did you try turning it off and turning it back on? She plumbed it. Impressive, I know. You're all jealous. All right. Our deck has been created. Behold, 25 creatures in our Demir deck, huh? Good amount of instants and sorceries. Enough that our Mouth of Sauron isn't pointless. 12 artifacts. It's hard to get below 12 artifacts in Commander these days, man. Enchantments are good. 37 land. It's good. It's good. You guys, this is the first time I've created a Commander deck with Twitch chat. This went well. I'm not gonna lie. I expected the usual train wreck. I can't build a 60 card standard deck with Twitch chat. You guys brought it today. You worked it. You had a lot of good ideas. That honestly is one of the coolest things about Commander and Historic Brawl for that matter. 100 card singleton, you need just so many more cards. You've got to find the good cards. It's hard to keep them all up here. Having help actually helps. Whereas like standard, have you been in a chat with a standard or limited player and just the absolute volley of nonstop, like crazy, generally bad ideas that they throw at you? Oh, it goes so badly. It goes so badly as I have to stop and explain all the time why cards that aren't good in standard aren't good in standard. But in EDH, like, EDH has a lot of legit cards you can put into decks, and way more. Just way more wins for the chat, you know? It's hard for chat to get a win in standard. Lots of wins for the chat in EDH. Lots of good ideas. 30-ish years of history to pull from, right? Really good stuff. Now the this is the do or die, guys. We're gonna go to EDH Rec, a website I'm sure none of you have pulled up in the background during the stream because you're all honorable people. You wouldn't cheat and go do like the survey says on me, would you? No, you wouldn't. We're gonna go to EDH Rec. We're gonna see if we missed anything. 100%. Oh my God, we should have had this. This is how you use EDH Rec. You build it from scratch. You build it with your buddies on Twitch. Well, now I do. Then we go check EDH Rec for any, like, what was I thinking? Why did I miss that? It's the final double check of our work. You ready? Now, also keep in mind, we're playing sneaky partner. So we've got Sauron as our partner. Nothing is going to have that on EDH Rec because we rule zeroed it. For those of you who don't know what I'm doing, EDH Rec is like, how would you describe it? It's like untap.gg for Commander. Mouth of nothing comes up. Really? Is it the Mouth of Sauron? That's why. Okay. Why are you not in dark mode? Literally, the only thing in settings is dark mode. There you go. Why not just call it dark mode? All right. So it looks like right away I can tell that the people who are building around Mouth of Sauron are building around the Amass. We did not build around the Amass. We forgot our flicker effects. We forgot our flicker effects. No, some of this is easy. It's not too late. So we don't need to lean hard into flicker, but there are some that are super cheap, like Essence Flux, right? And that can replace a protection spell. So this is a pretty easy, this is an easy one to make, because we're basically protecting our commander. So instead of slipping out the back, I'll probably still keep slip out the back. We could run an Essence Flux. Which one? Which one gets the cut? I'm gonna cut the Fierce. I have it in a different deck anyway, and I only own one. I would have had to remember to switch it between games, or I'd have to, or I was gonna cut it after I logged off anyway and replace it with something else anyway. All right. There, we got a flicker effect in there. We can't, now we don't have to pretend like we're just bad at flicker. Like we didn't even know it existed, right? Yeah, amass. Yep, none of this necessarily has to be in our deck. They're definitely leaning hard on amass. Milliken's interesting. It's still not that good of a dork though. It's like a slow mana rock that is very vulnerable. Draws for Life, thank you for the year. And Falcon Storm, thank you very much for the tier 1 and the 2 months. Yeah, we don't need all this amass. Snappy? Not gonna run Snappy. Leer, nope. Yep. All of this is fine. We don't need any of these in what we're going for. I like the idea of the Time Twist, but I don't need it. Yep, don't need any of all this. I can't believe we're not running Demonic Tutor, but we're already running Entomb, so it's not like we don't have ways to get things. Panharmonicon for double Mouth of Sorin Mill? Conjurer's Closet to blink it? It's all a bit much. And things that get you killed. The Talpadon, thank you very much for the tier 1. One ring to rule them all. Mills cards equal to your ring bearer's power. Nah. I really don't believe very much in this song. That song is good, it's just a little slow. But this saga doesn't do it for me. Any of these lands that are particularly good? No. Nope. Any of these lands that we missed? Didn't get the Sunken Ruins, but I don't usually run Sunken Ruins. Grey Havens? Grey Havens might not be terrible in this deck. Do I have a Grey Havens replacement? It has to be a legendary creature in the graveyard, but that's not insane. Yeah, it's not that good either. I'll take out the Rivendell and run the Grey Havens. Yeah, Grey Havens. There we go. Palantir is so good, is it? It's a little dangerous in this deck, and it's fun. Maybe it's more Palantir than Rhystic Study. I know that sounds stupid. It's more about the flavor, right? You play a Rhystic Study, everybody goes, you play a Palantir, everybody's like, ah. I'm gonna go Poe. Too expensive. Oracle plus consultation. I hope you're trolling. You're right, guys. Let's win every game of Commander that we possibly can, dunking on our friends with Oracle Consult in our Lord of the Rings themed game. Hell, let's try to end it on turn 2. I'm sure the editor will be thrilled. It's a great call. Why not? What's the matter? Don't like winning? I honestly don't. not like that. All right, let's go Sauron Necromancer. See if there's anything we missed here. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of ring tempting. Yep. Vile Entomber. Ooh. Ooh. I think I like that better than Entomb. Entomb is almost too easy. Like if I have Entomb and Animate Dead in my hand or Entomb and Reanimate, I'm just gonna do something stupid on turn 2, right? This removes the temptation. And it's a dork. I like that. I like that a lot. Gray Merchant we did not add. We probably should. It's not that our deck is heavy and black, but the life gain is so good. The reanimating it is so good. It's so good. You can just win the game. I'm not even sure where it gets cut though. What do we cut for it? I'm cutting Razaketh. That's another one where it's like, well, now I have this busted thing. And let me think of all the cards in my deck. And it's just game over if you have good cards in your deck. And it's just kind of too scary, but not effective if you don't. Let's just get Gary instead. Also, Razaketh, the episode isn't out yet. Razaketh plays an important part in an episode that's coming out, so it might be a little too much Razaketh too fast. Which isn't, like, that's not the hugest priority for me, but it's a priority. Ooh, I love the idea of getting a Disciple of Bolas effect in there. Oh, this is a good one. Either with our masked creature or with our wraith that's going away at end of turn. Oh, I like that. I like that so much. Are we doing it? It would replace a card draw effect. Do we have any card draw here that's not on theme and not very good? I guess the Jewel is a little much, but I'm so confident I can get the Jewel back. It really could be Rhystic Study just to not make the table upset. Then again, this deck with Rhystic Study with any deck is so good. Could be the Jewel. I just really like having something out there that like basically can make you friends and help solve problems on the board by getting people to draw into what they need. One ring is a trap. Well, that's a big part of why we run so many ways to gain life, is so that we can one ring into life gain solutions. That's why we don't run like Toxic Deluge, Night's Whisper, all these other things. All right, I'll cut the court. I like the court, but we're gonna cut it. I think this is a good Rhystic Study deck. It's not OP, and it defends itself pretty well. Like, I'm using my Rhystic Study so that when I cast my Mouth of Sauron, I mill harder. Howling Mind doesn't make friends because it doesn't pick a friend. It just gives to everybody. They take it for granted because everybody gets it. They're as much afraid of it as they love it. So it's not a good deterrent. Trust me, I spent plenty of years being like, don't attack me, I have a Howling Mind in play. And they're like, yeah, but that's also, like, I'm ahead, so it's hurting me because it's giving other people cards that they're going to use against me, so I'm going to beat you up. Howling Mind is it's an interesting little trap. No, what makes friends are cards that give one person more advantage, like Coveted Jewel. All right. I pronounce this deck a deck. I'm going to look around a little more, but we're very close to having this deck be a deck. We didn't have Living Death. Let's do that. Somebody suggested it and I forgot. This lets us cut a sweeper. So I'm going to cut the Meat Hook Massacre, even though it gains a lot of life. Could also cut the Rift, but Rift is better than Massacre. We're going to cut the Rift. Meat Hook lives. I don't think you cut the Worm right after you add the Living Death. That seems like those two should play together, right? Yeah, I cut the Cyclonic Rift. Cyclonic Rift is a really good card, but this isn't a deck that holds up mana well. If we pass with 7 mana, everybody sees it coming. We do a pretty good job defending ourselves. I want my opponent's stuff to kill my opponents and not me. Rifting them definitely doesn't help with that. All of these cards are fine, but not necessary. All right. I think I'm ready. I think it's just about time, guys, to call this a deck. Now I have to go build it. I have to actually go pull and add the cards. That's the fun part. It's not the fun part. It's not the fun part at all, but it must be done. All right. Here we go. Here we go. 100 cards. Reasonable value. Like $841 is, you know, any deck of mine that doesn't go over 1,000 is kind of amazing, because it's really tempting for me to throw all of my Busto old cards in there. But I think this will make a good video. I love the big creatures go vroom. I didn't say it was a budget build. How do you organize your collection? They're in binders grouped by set. This will be a challenging build just because I already have a Dimir deck built. So some cards I'm going to go reach for and find they're not there. Going to be a problem, but that's okay. All right, I'm off to build this deck and then get off to record Worst Possible Commander Show, which means our time together is at an end. I've definitely played with the idea of getting a camera and like a wireless mic and setting it up like up here in this corner so I could keep streaming while I find cards. But not today. I honestly think that would be very boring content, but I could still be live while I do it. I just don't think it will be very exciting. Do you print it out? No. This is actually a good question, actually. I was going into my outro, but let's do this. Because I have all my binders organized by set, how I pull my cards is like this. I go to advanced search and I sort by set. And now it's in order by set. And I just like, I go through and I grab the binder that contains the set and I pull the card from it so that I don't have to go back to the same binder multiple times. Now, as you see, this one pulls from a lot of different sets. It's a lot easier. And I mean, it's a lot easier sometimes. This one will not be an easy one. Also, Moxfield does this weird thing where it automatically selects like promo versions, so they're not grouped together. So I have to go through and fix that quickly, but it's a quick fix. It's not the end of the world. But this one, its theme is all over the place, so I have a bunch of different binders I'm gonna have to go through. The biggest one here, Middle Earth, no surprise. But yep. All right. Now I pull this page up on my iPad. So I just put that iPad on the other side of this desk. So I can just go find the cards, put them on the table, scroll the iPad, see the cards I need, go grab a binder, pull the cards, put them on the table, scroll the iPad, go grab the binder. It takes about 45 minutes when I'm grooving. So it's still a time suck. But it works. It works and it makes my brain chemicals happy. All right. That's going to do it, guys. I have to go do the thing that I have to go do the time suck. What the heck happened to my hair? Was that just me thinking about the last cut? Anyway. Wish us luck on the Worst Possible Commander Show. Check those out. The Worst Possible Commander Show airs every Sunday at like 1 p.m. Eastern time. There's 64 episodes of it now, which is wild to think. Thank you for hanging out with me. I am amazed how many people wanted to watch this and enjoy it. So maybe we'll do it again next week. Thank you for watching the stream. As always, we'll see you in the next stream. You're cool.